want to take the time today. I want to take the time to say I really appreciate you. You've done a great job. That's what we're doing out tonight. And we're going to cook them a little bit also. We don't want to forget that either. But tonight is all about thank you. And now I'd like to take the opportunity to turn the meeting to our esteemed president, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Dewitz Futures Club. Thank you, Toastmasters, for joining tonight. I am very excited about this, and most especially welcome to our guests who are joining us tonight. I have never been to a Toastmasters roast. I've never seen one. I kind of know what to expect, but I'm very excited to see what we have in store. Yes, indeed. I was really honored that Mel asked me to be Toastmaster. I think all the spots were taken, and that was all that was left, but I'm still honored to be asked to be the Toastmaster and to share in this. I still remember the day, about 6 months ago, when I crawled in here off the street. Jeff put a blanket around me, he huddled me inside, he put me in a chair and said, "Well," and from that moment on, I've been coming back ever since. So he has had a profound effect on me. I can't believe how that was that good. I loved you so, and I really do. That's all I've got to say about that. We do have some agenda updates. So in echoing the talk about being thankful and thanking people, I am so thankful to all of you that stepped up, because I scrambled at the last minute to fill these positions, and you all came through with flying colors. So I'm going to go through the agenda really quick so we all know who's doing what. Our educational minute tonight will be by Dr. Dan Benson. Our grammarian tonight will be the fellow in the back named Victor. Our counter will be Ted. Our general evaluator will be Jane. Our listener will be Victor. I believe that covers all of it.
Awards master.
The awards master. Oh, you guys got me. Could I get somebody willing to volunteer to be awards master?
I can do it.
Shakira, you're awesome. Thank you so much, Shakira. Let me jot that down really quick. Next time I do this, I'll have a better feel. I really, really promise. Or it'll be as chaotic as it is right now. All right, without further ado, we want to get this party started. We can't do any of this without our helpers, so let me introduce our helpers. Our first helper tonight is our humorist, Jeff.
I actually volunteer for this. It's my favorite thing to do. So Sister Barbara was sitting in her room at the convent like she normally does. And every month she gets a letter from her parents. And inside it, as usual, there's a $100 bill. So she smiles at it because she knows that she's going to take the $100 bill and she's going to give it away to some nice charity. As she's looking out her window, she sees a gentleman, shaggy clothes, walk up to this light pole and leans up against the light pole. So she gets an idea. So she takes this piece of paper and writes, "Don't despair, Sister Barbara," puts a $100 bill in it, taps on the window, gets the guy's attention, rolls it up, throws it out the window to him. So he comes, picks it up off the ground, opens it up, looks at it, looks at her, looks at it, puzzled, looks at her, tips his hat to her, turns around and walks away. Next morning, Sister Barbara's downstairs and this guy in the waiting room. And so, "I need to talk to you, I need to talk to you." "Okay, what do you need to talk about?" She really recognized that it was the guy from the day before. And he pulls out this bag and he hands her a stack of $100 bills. She's like, "Really, what is this?" So, "Don't despair, paid 81.
I get it.
That's a slow clap.
Let me add that to my roast.
And you wonder why I never volunteered to be a
Don't despair.
I don't know why.
That was some very sound investment advice. Don't let them have it, all right? Next, I would like to call up Dr. Dan Benson to give us an educational.
Well, I understood when I came that Jeff was going to be toasted tonight, so I devised this, or designed this educational minute around that. And what I'm going to say is that just a few things about leadership. And I think when you lose a great leader like Jeff that has been to your club, it's imperative that the job be filled by someone who is not just competent, but is ready to carry on without any loss of momentum. And you seem to have done that. When Lincoln was shot, the next morning Andrew Johnson was sworn in. When Kennedy died, Johnson took his pledge on Air Force One before it took off. Great countries and great clubs respond without breaking stride. This is one of the great clubs in District 39 and in Toastmasters International. And will make that transformation without losing any momentum. It's my pleasure to have been to have experienced your success as an area director. And I've been honored to be a part of you just for the last 6 months. So I say, keep up the good work and don't lose your enthusiasm because you have everything going for you.
Thank you, Dr. Dan. So the next thing I have to do is completely off the top of my head because I just took my paperwork. So I'm going to introduce the helpers as best I can from memory. Our first helper tonight is our counter of words that are said slowly. That would be our timekeeper, Jill. Jill, could you please tell us what you're going to do tonight?
Yes, as timekeeper, I will help each speaker or roaster tonight to stay within their allotted time. I will show the green card at 5 minutes and the yellow at 6, and at 7 I'll show the red card. I will report their times when called upon.
Thank you, Madam Timer. Our next helper tonight is, point of order to help me out. Are we supposed to applaud after every helper who states what they're going to do?
It's up to you.
We're going to not applaud because we have a big show tonight. So we're going to move it right
There you go.
Although I do appreciate all of your help. Our next helper tonight is our grammarian, and that is Victor.
How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
I'm supplying the word of the day, which is battleground. And I'm going to see how many people use it during the table topics portion. I think the whole meeting is table topics, so you have to use battleground every time you get up here to speak. And I'll give a report at the end of the night of who qualified by using it and who did not.
Thank you, Mr. Grammarian. Hopefully it will not be a battleground tonight. Our next helper is our counter, and that is Ted. Ted, can you please tell us what you're going to do?
Certainly. As our counter, I will carefully listen to all participants during the meeting. I'll listen for filler or clutch sounds in words such as, ums, and so's, and okays. I will also listen for double touches, starting and stopping the word, and then starting the word, such as Jim. The purpose is to sharpen my listening skills and to help speakers use fewer fillers. I'll do my report and call it the beginning of the
Thank you, Mr. Counter. Our next helper is our awards master, Shakira. Please tell us what you're going to do.
As a words master, I will collect and count the ballots from prepared speeches, table topics, and evaluation. When called to the lectern by the general evaluator, I will present ribbons to the winners. Meeting participants should use the Xerox portion, so the best is this portion, on the bottom of their half-sheet ballots to cast their votes.
Thank you, Shakira. Our next helper is our general evaluator, and I am so grateful to our general evaluator for stepping up tonight. I have never met her before tonight. She walked in off the street and saved my baby.
That's how David and I met. He was all cute. Sorry.
Not a problem. Madam General Evaluator, will you please tell us what you're going to do tonight?
I sure can. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. As General Evaluator, I will lead the evaluations portion of this meeting. I will call on the evaluators. I will evaluate the evaluators, ask for reports from the other role players, and present a brief overall evaluation of the meeting, including strong points and points of improvement. The purpose is to provide helpful, positive, and constructive feedback to all participants.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And our final helper tonight is our listener. Our listener is Victor. Victor, will you please tell us what you'll be doing tonight?
Well, I'm going to conform with the rest of the members of the club and read what I'm supposed to do. As a listener, I will carefully listen to all participants during the meeting. I will listen for interesting points and facts in each speech. I will create questions that pertain to the meeting and pose those questions to the group. The group may call out the answers to my questions. The purpose is to sharpen your listening skills. I will give my report when called upon by the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Listener. Now we come to the best part of the meeting. This is why we're all here. This is why we've gathered in. This is the time for the prepared speeches. Now, I have a question. I'm just going to throw this out there because I have not done a roast before. I understand that Jeff is supposed to sit in the witness chair up here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
When do I bring him up here? Do I invite him right now?
Now.
Jeff, please, rise and join me.
Swear him in. Swear him in.
Our first speaker tonight is Brian Hatano. He is speaking from the Competent Communicator Manual, Vocal Variety, number 6. Madam Timer, can you give us the time constraints for his speech?
Yes, Brian will be speaking 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes to green, 6 minutes to yellow, and 7 minutes to red. 30 seconds after, 31 seconds, he's disqualified.
Thank you. Brian Hatano, Toastmasters. Brian Hatano's Toastmasters journey started in 2001. He is a gifted speaker, but his grammar is a little rough, so we will work with him on that. When he joined Supermarketers, that's when he joined Toastmasters in 2001. He is also a proud member of Dewitz Speech. He retired in 2015 from his corporate position with Brady Superstores after 40 years, which he says is great, and served as our district governor in 2014 to 2015. Please help me welcome immediate past District 39 Governor, distinguished Toastmaster Brian Hatano, whose speech is entitled, Fame Hasn't Spoiled Jeff Dewitz. Fame hasn't spoiled Jeff Dewitz.
Meals on wheels.
Can you guys see okay over there? Can you make sure Jeff can see? Mel, can you get the lights?
I'm playing footsies with David.
Ooh, popcorn.
Is Melanie, who will be speaking from the Humorous Speaking Manual, number 5, the humorous speech. Madam Timer, can you give us her time constraints?
Yes, Melanie will be speaking 5 minutes on green, 6 minutes on yellow, and 7 minutes on red. At 37 minutes, 31 seconds, she is disqualified.
Did you know that Jeff wants to be just like Mel? That he spent the last year trying to exactly copy her, to be just like her, trying so hard that he actually dressed up like her. Creepy. In her roast tonight, Mel will tell us all just what she thinks about that. Melanie Cottrell, Minnie. Melanie Cottrell.
I've been waiting to do this. Have you ever heard the saying that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery? Not even. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our many welcome guests. Last year, I had 2 jobs in Toastmasters. I was the president of this club, and I served as our area director. About a year ago, I was looking for someone to take my place as president of the club. And Jeff here, he kept pestering me. No, we gotta talk about me being president. We gotta talk about this president thing. We gotta talk about it. Okay, Jeff. We talked about it. I told Jeff, being president, that's the easy job. It's the easiest part. As soon as I told Jeff president was the easy job, he said, okay, I'll do it. A few days later, Jeff and I were talking about someone who might take my place as area director. Time went by and he kept pestering me. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about me being area director. Okay. So we talked about it, and I told him, Jeff, area director is so fun. Easy. Division director that does all the hard work. So guess what he said when I said that was the easy job? Okay, Mel, I'll do it. So Jeff took my place as president and division director. That meant he was here every week. He was doing our officer meetings. He was visiting 3 other clubs and helping them. A couple months later, he said, Mel, I have 1 night a week where I don't have anything to do. I'm really bored. So you know what he did? He joined another club. The 2 jobs that we have in common are not the only things that Jeff and I have in common. We actually have a lot in common. We both love Christmas. Jeff and I were talking about Christmas, and he told me, I have a couple of those big wand blow-up things that I don't use anymore. Do you want them? Yeah, I'll take a couple of those big blow-up things. So one Saturday, Jeff pulls up to my house, opens the back of his PT Cruiser to do a hatchback, and pulls out 2 big Rubbermaid buckets. I'm thinking, cool. 1 in this bucket, 1 in this bucket. Opens the first bucket, pulls out not 1, but 2 big Christmas blow-up dolls. Okay. 2 in that bucket. I'm thinking there's 1 in that bucket. 3 instead of a couple. Alright. He opens the second bucket. Not 2, not 3, 4 more blow-up dolls. Now, Jeff, I don't know who needs 6 blow-up dolls in their front yard. I think you must have been a very naughty kid. Because of those 6 blow-up dolls, 3 of them were Santa. Who needs 3 9-foot-tall Santas in their front yard? The naughty Santa. Christmas isn't the only thing Jeff and I have in common. Jeff and I both live by the mantra, early is on time, and on time is late. So like everything this man does, he takes it to an extreme. Do you have that one person in your life that's always late for everything? And maybe you tell them it starts an hour early to get them there on time. You have to do the exact opposite with Jeff. If he's supposed to be at your house at 7 o'clock in the morning, you tell him to be there at 10, And he'll still be there at 6 while you're in the shower. He takes it to an extreme. So we both love Christmas. We both like to be early and a little more than me. There's one more thing that Jeff and I have in common that he doesn't even know about. You might not know it. It's really hard to guess this. I'm Irish. Very hard to figure out, right? I come from a long line of Irish peasants. My family was too poor to get toys or anything entertaining. So as kids, we had to learn how to entertain ourselves. So we taught ourselves how to river dance as kids. That's what my family does. Now, as Brian mentioned, when Jeff speaks, he does his own little river dance. But Jeff, the river dance, I gotta say, man, it's just embarrassing. So stand up here with me for a second. We're gonna fix that. This is how you actually do a river dance. Press your feet down and go 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up. Good.
I did. Come on, Jeff. Come on.
All right, I'll leave off the rest. Now you notice, once again, look at what he's wearing, look at what I'm wearing. He keeps doing this to me. But I have to say, imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. I'm not flattered. I'm honored.
Thank you, Melanie. That was unexpected. I did not expect you to break out the river dance, which I'm a big fan of, by the way. I was really hoping Jeff would do it. I'm not even going to go there, but I was thinking if maybe we chanted Jeff. I won't try that though.
Honestly, you guys know I'm not up for just about anything, but I did.
Valid reason. Valid. Our third speaker tonight is Earl, who's speaking from the Confident Communicator Manual. Number 6, vocal variety. Madam Timer, can we get his timing constraints?
Yes, this speaker as well will be 5 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes the green, 6 minutes the yellow, 7 minutes the red, 7:31 disqualified.
Thank you. Tonight, we will use a therapeutic name to attempt to repair some of Jeff's bizarre behaviors and bring his fractured mind back to us. Earl says this may not work, but it will be fun. Earl, speech is leaving my brain, but it's coming back. Hold on for a second. Earl's speech is Spaceman Return to Earth. Spaceman Return to Earth. Earl.
Mr. Toastmaster, members and guests, I was so pleased to be invited to roast this man. And I want to say that this man has been known here by several names, including Mr. President, from time to time Mr. Toastmaster, and of course his given name is Jeff Dewitz. There's a new development in psychological treatment which is called the therapeutic name. And we have decided to give this man a therapeutic name, which is Spaceman Return to Earth. This is helpful. This is the way we attempt to bring back an individual who seems to be leaving us, as demonstrated with bizarre behaviors and bizarre statements which we recognize as a very rare compulsive condition, which, by the way, I intend to reveal before the end of this presentation, unless you, sir, Mr. Spaceman, decide to discuss it yourself. First, let us all help this poor man to recover from his compulsive condition by saying together his therapeutic name. This is likely to help. So, say with me,
Spaceman, return to Earth.
It's doing the job, yes. All right. Now let me describe a few of his kinky behaviors so that you will immediately recognize that his compulsive behavior is tied to his mental condition. First, his good wife. His good wife is not able to participate in this therapeutic naming. And that's because she must pretend that he doesn't exist while he follows her around constantly saying, I am your president. I am your president. It's not working. Spaceman, return to Earth. I presented this man with an opportunity to have a normal conversation, and it was just last Thursday evening. I said to him, Jeff, there's really nothing I know about Bakersfield except that it's really hot. And this is what he said. He said, well, no place is really hot until I get there. So, I told you that I would reveal the source of Spaceman Jeff's compulsive disorder, and I will. Ladies and gentlemen, this man is a compulsive viewer. He views over and over again, and it's obviously tied to those strange behaviors. Now, I wanted to go back, and I missed something that's so important. I want to tell you about the very first time I was grammarian. And I took my notes and made my report. I stood and said, Jeff, at the time Jeff, now Spaceman. I said, Jeff, you used the word gotta several times. The very next occasion when I was grammarian, I made notes of everybody's stumbling. And when it was time, I stood to report and I said, Jeff, you didn't use a lot of gotta, but you did use a lot of lotta. And I thought that was the end of it. But no, he came up to me later and he said, I really understand your criticism of run-on words, lotta, gotta. I really feel that I'm going to get a handle on it and I will not use lotta, gotta. I said, I thought the man was coming back to us. And he said, I'm sure I can do it because I really wanna. Return to Earth. There. I've gotten that off my chest and I feel better. And I hope you do. Spaceman, return to Earth. I told you that I would reveal the source, and I'm back to that page of my notes at this time. I will. And when you hear about it, you will see how relevant this condition, this circumstance is, and why it created this individual as you see him now. He's a compulsive viewer, ladies and gentlemen. He views and views and views. He's a compulsive viewer. Do you want to tell them? Spaceman, I will tell them. You are a compulsive viewer of Lady Gaga videos.
It feels good when the truth comes out, though. I know that feeling all too well. Earl, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. Spaceman, come back to Earth. I'm going to be saying that as I drive home tonight. Spaceman, come back to Earth. Our fourth speaker tonight, is Gary Pettigrew. Gary will be speaking from the Special Occasion Speeches Manual. He'll be doing number 3, the roast. Madam Timer, can you tell us what his time constraints will be?
According to the agenda, Gary will speak 3 to 5 minutes. 3 minutes green, 4 minutes.
5 to 7.
5 to 7? Okay, he wants to change it to 5 to 7. 5 minutes green, 6 minutes yellow, 7 minutes red, 7 minutes 31 disqualified.
Spaceman.
5 to 7.
Gary Pettigrew has been a Bits and Speeches Toastmasters since February of 2003. He has seen dozens of people come and go for one reason or another, but he believes this is the first time he's seen someone go to live in, of all places, Bakersfield, California. Please help me welcome Gary Pettigrew, whose speech is Jeff Who, Gary Pettigrew.
Fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and the man of the hour, Mr. Jeff. Jeff who? Jeff, you know you rose out of obscurity in Toastmasters. You came in as a guest, you quickly became a member, you quickly became Sergeant at Arms, and then you were president, and then area director. It's like a rocket ship. Congratulations. How do you feel? You feel good about it? Okay. Well, as you know, and everybody here has probably noticed over the last year, he's also been obscure with his weight because he's lost quite a bit of weight, haven't you? How much weight have you lost? 58 pounds and counting. Wow.
6 months.
And now I know with this weight loss, you've been on several different diets, haven't you? Just one? Well, that's not what I heard. Your wife told me that you tried many different diets in the past. Diet shakes, rice cakes, water. She thought that fasting would work. But your idea of fasting is going to fast food restaurants over and over again. So that didn't work. Yeah. I also found out from your wife that you kept a diet diary. Didn't you? Now, Peon. Matter of fact, I've got an excerpt out of that diary. Would you like to hear it? Sure. Okay, here it goes. Ready? You wrote one time, "It's not me, diet. It's you. You're tasteless, boring, and I can't stop cheating on you." That's what it said. I'm not making it up here. Well, you're doing very well, though. Because, you know, on the border, we know what you eat. And I don't know, it may be a Platt Electric thing, but it seems like when he orders big, it's always my turn to pay. Same thing with Justin. So it's got to be in the company somewhere and all that. But for the most part, you do pretty well. But I also know how you've lost your weight as well. Because he is so wrapped up in technology. He's got an iPhone watch, an iPad, a couple of phones, don't you? See there?
Oh, yeah.
That's how you lose so much weight, because you don't have any money to buy food. That's the only thing I can figure. But he does have a technology brain, for sure. Kids' activities at Jeff's house, according to his wife, goes something like this. "Hey, Mom, Dad, I want to invite my friends over to play on their phones and on their iPad." That's the mantra of the Dewitz house. That's or is it? No, I could be really honest with you. I'm okay. I know better. But I do have a gift for you tonight, a parting gift. And I know you're going to appreciate this because it is an ancient computer. Would you like to see it? You sure? I have it in my pocket. This is, you have the print on this side and delete over here. Now, for all of you here that know, Jeff has a very loving relationship with his wife. He told me that the secret to listening to his wife is like reading the terms and conditions of a website. I agree. New computer. I agree. Well, let me tell you something. Mr. Dewitz here is no obscurity in our hearts and minds. He will always be there. He was here to take over the reins as president from last year, as everybody knows. You're going to leave a huge void in this organization, Jeff. I know you are. And that's the weight that will be gone in this club and the district. And to see you and your wife interact here and also at the restaurant has been inspiration to me and inspiration I know to everybody else in this room. So, good luck to you, my friend. I appreciate the friendship, and I hope you'll always be friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That was very, very enlightening, especially that trendy computer that you brought out. I am going to use that myself. Our fifth speaker tonight is Edward Johnson. He is working from the undecided workbook is what I have written here. So I believe it's
humorously speaking.
Humorously speaking, doing the humorous speech. Madam Timer, could you give us the time and experience for that speech?
As a surprise, Ed will be speaking 5 minutes on green, 6 minutes on yellow, 7 minutes on red, and 7 minutes, 31 seconds he will be disqualified.
Thank you. Have you known someone you were a teammate of or worked with, and you had the occasion to roast that person before they departed? And then eureka! You suddenly realize roasting just doesn't do him or her justice. That is the case with Jeff Dewitz. Edward Johnson's speech is roasting is too good for Jeff. Roasting is too good for Jeff. Edward Johnson.
Mr. Roastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and you. Roasting is too good for Jeff. Roasting is too simple for Jeff. A man of this caliber deserves a lot more than just taking a piece of protein and sticking it in an oven, leaving it for 2 hours and taking it out. That's what you do when you roast. I love to cook, obviously. I do. I'm Chef Ed, everybody. But Jeff, I don't know, you kind of not looking yourself today. I noticed the improvement right away. like to change the word of the day. The word of the day is now fricassee. For those of you who don't know, right there it says it's a method of cooking meat which is cut up, sauteed, braised, and served in its own juice. And that's what I intend to do to you tonight, my friend. Fricassee you in your own juice. Notice, friends, I have used the word in a sentence, and I don't know if you can read it there, but in a sentence, Jeff said that Ed is going to fricassee me tonight like I'm a cheap cut of pork. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Jeff, I tell you, any good cook has to follow his menu, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Jeff lost a lot of weight, we know that, but he really wants to be a great cook. He always kind of secretly talked to me about that because he knows I know a lot about cooking. It's fun to teach Jeff how to cook. The other day, I gave him my secret recipe for angel food cake. Right? One of the little steps on the menu for angel food cake was to beat 12 eggs separately. Think about it. Fortunately, Jeff's neighbors loaned him enough bowls so he could do that little trick. I wanted to show Jeff how to make rice pudding. Very simple, right? Part of the recipe is that you take the steamed rice, right, and you wash it before you serve it, right? Jeff thought it seemed sort of silly, but he took a shower anyway. What's that silence? Oh, that's the sound of nobody caring what you think, Jeff. Nobody. If you have something to say, it's all right. Just raise your hand and put it over your mouth. Last week, I was with Jeff. We were at a restaurant, and it was really strange because sometimes Jeff just says things that just kind of make you want to stand back and listen, right? He said, Ed, if money grows on trees, why do banks have branches? Jeff, that didn't make sense to me. I don't know. He said he's great with making up certain phrases. Like he said, you know, if hard work never killed anybody, have you ever heard anybody dying of resting? Jeff, where did you get that from? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't think you're the sharpest tool in the shed, Jeff. I don't. The other day, we were just talking and words that we usually use here in Toastmasters, the word was innuendo. I asked him what it means. He said he thought it was an Italian suppository. It's been a pleasure working with Jeff for bits and speeches. And one thing I did learn from him, and that was how to keep the interest or connection with the members here. He says, in his own rough, wonderful way, if you wear them by the cojones, their hearts and minds will follow. Chef, I salute you. Chef Ramsay salutes you.
Edward Johnson, thank you so much for that. Those were words of wisdom. That's the only thing I can come up with. The final phrase, if you get them by the cojones, that really sums it up. And you came up with that. Say that again. We do have another speaker. This is awesome news. because we only had 5 speakers on the agenda, but we did find somebody who came in at the last minute, really wanted to be part of this. I know. I'm excited. Are you excited? You feel it. Do you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. All right. Our 6th speaker is a very special guest. We didn't have enough budget to book a big-time celebrity, but we were able to secure a beloved TV host that I'm sure everyone over the age of 40 will recognize. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
I'm sorry about everything I say.
Welcome to Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. And welcome, hi boys and girls. It's okay to clap. I know you Toastmasters clap at everything. Now tonight we're going to be visiting the land of make-believe, where everybody makes believe they're funny. First time I thought this was going to be a cooking show, because when Melanie invited me, she said I would be roasting a big turkey. These are the jokes, folks. Instead, I discovered I would be roasting a big overstuffed windbag Jeff Dewitz. We'll get to Jeff in a moment, but first I'd like to say a few words about the other roasters here tonight. And this is my friend Daniel. Do y'all know Daniel? Daniel, hello, I'm Daniel. Daniel will also be commenting on some of the speakers this evening. Daniel, thank you. Okay. Yeah. First, we have Melanie Contrell. Wasn't she a great dancer? Wasn't she a great dancer? Yes, Melanie, I just love her mental program. I love those little peppermints. They keep my breath fresh. No, Daniel, not a mentor program. It's a mentor program. Oh. Yeah, it's where old people help young speakers learn how to speak, and their breath isn't fresh at all. Yeah, okay. We good to go? Then we have Brian Hatano. Oh, he's such a charming little Japanese fellow. It's a good thing his feet are so tiny, because he's always putting his book in his mouth. Brian's married to a Spice Girl. Her name's Cindy Spice. Yeah, when Brian gets tongue-tied, she just says, Brian, just tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Two of the people under 30 got that. Now, if Brian was a Spice Girl, he'd be scary Spice. He makes me nervous. It's okay, Daniel. We know Brian's got self-esteem issues. Then there's Earl Carrington. He's the new Bits and Speeches member. Hi, Earl. Welcome. You can applaud for Earl. You know, Earl, I heard you like to dress up like Colonel Sanders. And not just on Halloween. Can you say mildly disturbing? Then we have Mr. Gary Pettigrew. Where's Gary over there? They like to call him, you can applaud for Gary. They call Gary Mr. 100%, but he's really just 80% with a 20% gratuity. I have no idea what that means, but it sounded funny when I wrote it. Gary won the Herb Yarborough and the Herb Long Award. You have so many herbs, Gary. Maybe you and Brian should get together and you'd be 11 herbs and spices. Would you make your best friends with Colonel Sanders? Ed Johnson. Now, when Ed walks up to the front, you see something distinctly different about Herb also likes to cook. He likes to cook with spice. And I'm not talking about Brian's wife. And now it's time for the man of the hour, Mr. Jeff Dewitz. One more bit. Woo! Clap for Jeff, everybody. Jeff is a Toastmasters area director, and his clubs just love him, especially when he's not visiting the club. Jeff was, I saw you at the Bids and Speeches Christmas party. You were an excellent MC and game show host, wasn't he?
Yeah.
You were just like our Toastmaster Doug without the talent and the good looks. As good as it gets. One time, Jeff brought in all his scuba diving gear for a speech. Yeah, the only thing deeper underwater than Jeff is the value of his house, the Elk Grove. Jeff has a husky dog in that house. Don't you have a husky? Oh, that scares me. It's okay, Dan. Jeff has an appropriately named dog a husky because he used to shop in the little husky voice, and we talked about that. But now he's lost a lot of weight. If he could only lose that cornball sense of humor, we'd be all set. Now we're going to talk about your love life, Jeff. You know, we couldn't go much farther without talking about your love life. Some folks just laugh when they look at pictures of the women of Walmart. On the internet, have you seen that? The women of Walmart, they laugh at. Jeff married them. Now she's a squeak gal, Christina. She doesn't wear her leopard print tights and her halter top, at least not in public. She's actually a Walmart manager, and she's destined to move up the corporate ladder. That's right, Christina's moving up the corporate ladder, and Jeff is destined to be a Walmart greeter. Those are the special people that wave and smile in the front of the store, right? That's right, Dad. Jeff is destined to be a Walmart greeter. Jeff wrecked his wife's car on her birthday. He's not the sharpest bolt in the or the brightest knife in the drawer. When Jeff goes out to shop for groceries, he goes to not so smart and One thing Christina really likes to tolerate with Jeff is his love for Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars fan, right, Jeff? Yes, we know you are. He surprised her in the bedroom one night. He said, I'm an all-powerful Jedi, and I'm about to use the Force on you. She said, well, your lightsaber's coming up a little short there, He's now more like, wannabe Kenobi. Jeff got teased a lot in school. The bullies gave him a wedgie pretty much every day at lunch. Do you remember that, Jeff? And just like Buck Owens on Hee Haw, every time he stood up, he was picking his head. And I mentioned Buck. You can groan at that. You're getting exactly what you paid for. Now, speaking of Buck Owens, we know Jeff is moving far away to Bakersfield. Yes, it's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. That's right, Daniel. Jeff is going to start a Toastmasters Club in Bakersfield. Good luck getting those cowboys to say more than 3 words at a time. Did you say shortest table topic ever? I think it's about time I left, and from the sound of their groans, they think I should leave too. So I'm just going to sing you a little song, and then I'm going to leave. Would that be all right? I know you want that. I have never wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I might get a restraining order if I do. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. If you try to insult me, I will make you pay. Won't you be, Jeff, won't you be our greeter? Bye, neighbor.
What a surprise to have Mr. Rogers here. My gosh, I did not expect that. All the stops were pulled out tonight. That was awesome. I don't know what the protocol is for these little gatherings that they call roasts, but I think it's only fair that the man of the hour has a chance to have a rebuttal, have a response to all the wonderful things that said about it. Jeff, would you care to say something? Would you care to stand up here and say something? Yes.
First of all, thank you. I appreciate everybody coming tonight, and I'm very sad that I'm going, but I have a really good opportunity, and I'm going to take advantage of it. Melanie always told me that it was really important, and I asked her when I became area director this year about my name tag, and she always told me it was really important that you always wear your highest award from them, or your honor, whatever your highest ranking was, no matter what. You have to rank. I got the first one. It was almost on the ground. But tonight, I chose not to wear my area director badge because I wanted to wear my bits and speeches badge tonight, because I wouldn't have ever been an area director if it wasn't for most of you in this room. So to me, this is where it all started for me. I'm really sad that I only have 2 more steps left in my DTM, and I'm not going to be able to finish it in District 39. I'm really sad about the fact that I've done research. There are only 2 Toastmasters clubs in Bakersfield, and they are both during the day. I'm really sad about that. But Sandra has informed me that she knows the people that run the Bakersfield area, and she's going to make sure that they know that I'm coming, and they're going to help me start my own club, which is one of the parts of my DTM that I've been missing. I don't know how soon that's going to happen, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on with work once we get up and going, but I do plan to finish my DTM as soon as I can, get back on track with Toastmasters. I will be coming to the spring conference. Yay! That's already paid for my ticket.
You paid for your ticket?
My little animals paid for my ticket. I still haven't figured out which one of you are buying me dinner tonight after this. Maybe a combination of shots. I really appreciate all of you guys. And for those of you who know me and have known how far I've come in the last year and a half from my boss forcing me to be here. I really appreciate that, because I've become a different person. And those of you who know me know how far I've come in the last year. A year and a half ago, I couldn't have done this. I couldn't have been up here talking like this, even without the dance and the feet up and certain things. I mean, my face would have been bright red, and I thought it was going to be a lot worse tonight, but I just want to say thank you to everybody, and you guys. I'm going to miss all of you guys. I'm not an emotional person, but I really am going to miss all you guys. And my company, we do these things called Super Tool Days, where we have to travel around to different areas. So every once in a while, they're usually on Thursdays. So those of you who are part of the club know that every once in a while I miss a meeting, because I'm either in Fresno or in some exotic place like Reading. I have to miss meetings. But now that I'm going to be on the southern end of it, I'll be coming back this way. And since I know the person that's in charge of the tool days and puts the schedules together, I'm sure he can arrange it to where I can hit the Sacramento ones and the ones up there. So after tool days, instead of going home for 4 hours, I can come to a meeting and never tell you guys when to come.
Spaceman, return to Earth.
But anyway, there will be no table topics tonight, and I do appreciate, again, everybody coming who I wasn't expecting to come. Facebook is going to be fun. Mr.
With that being said, it seems odd, but we have to continue with the meeting, because that's what we do. We trudge through until the bitter end. Regrettably, no table topics, because we have a whole room full of people that could have had more to say, but the clock is ticking away, so we're going to have to jump to our general evaluator who saved my bacon once again, Jane.
Go up, Jane.
Oh, I have to go up to,
Yes.
up to the front?
And we do it differently.
We do that differently.
See, Gary has to keep me on track. Well, this was a really fun meeting. This was very entertaining. I'm going to go down the list because we do it a little differently in our meeting. We go through the agenda. I'm going to ask Jill for the timing constraints for
The timing report for our speakers.
yes.
Brian, 7 minutes 57 seconds. Melanie, 7 minutes 17 seconds. Earl, 5 minutes 43 seconds. Gary, 5 minutes 07. Edward, 7 minutes 30 seconds. Woo! On the dot. And our last speaker, David, 8:02.
We are not going to have any verbal evaluator, so we're just going to move right into the general evaluation. Coming into this room or coming into this building, David and I did not have a clue where we were going. We just kind of followed the breadcrumbs from Gary and Ted and the signs out front, so it was very easy to find. It was, everybody had all the placards. It was very nice to have our name tags, something that pop-up will have to actually embrace. Isn't that right, Gary? That's right. The meeting was open on time. Ed made sure of that. The pledge and thought of the day was a nice tribute to Jeff. That was a wonderful tribute. And the pledge, of course, to our flag. The humorist. I'm still trying to figure out the punchline.
Spaceman.
That's okay, we'll move on. The meeting theme, President's Roast. Perfect. It was succinct. It was very succinct. The Toastmaster, Doug, wonderful job. You kept the meeting going and flowing. The timer, Jill, you're so thorough, and you're just very, very concise, and your instructions were clear. The grammarian and word of the day. We haven't had the grammarian report. Ta-da! So, I believe, Victor, are you the grammarian?
Yes, I had nothing to report.
Oh, that's a great report. Thank you. Also, the odd counter, Ted. May I get the odd counter report?
You certainly may.
Sure, thank you.
I'm really impressed. Everybody did a wonderful job this evening. Now we'll start out with Gary. Had one double crutch. Aye. Dan, one double clutch and one Doug, one so. Ed? Anyway? Okay. Earl, one so, and one David, I ran out of space. And that's my report.
And since we didn't have any table topics, my next move is to return control back to
Thank you, Jane. I appreciate your help tonight. I appreciate everybody's help tonight. I think this was a very, very entertaining meeting. It all came together. Everybody pitched in and helped out. I got to witness my first waving of the blue and green from Victor.
Did we skip the listener? Because I have one question.
We do have a listener report.
One question. What was the name of the horse that the guy won the bet on? All together now. What was the name of the horse that Jeff told us about? The guy won the bet on. He gonna split the money with the lady. Don't despair. The woman said, "Don't despair" to him. And that's why he was sharing the money, because the horse won, he bet on the horse.
Oh my goodness.
That's the punchline.
That's what he said. I'm the only one in the home.
Spaceman returned.
Is that right, Jeff? Is that the right answer?
Exactly.
Don't despair. That was the horse's
You're
name.
the smartest man in the